Passengers whose journey plans go on to be violated at Gatwick following the lane was closed for 36 several hours are cladding additional expenses of rebuilt air transportation, car parking lot and hotels. It is essential to mention how additional reimbursement, that is usually paid by EU rules if the latency is the error of the airline company, will not be paid in the instance, as the closing of Gatwick was for the airline's monitoring. The civilian aircraft credibility has affirmed the occurrence is an emergency term, so no additional reimbursement should be paid. To be precise, how does not indicate how passengers should be fully leftward out of pouch. It is the airline company's liability to get nobody in a card to their purpose, except the occupant accepts a return instead of. The airline company has a responsibility of thoroughness to passengers in the position. How tool they must see following their customers before they can get them on an option flying to their purpose. How might be a derouted flying, maybe consisting a stopping, or the soonest probable flying. Now Gatwick has newly opened. They can put customers on a flying in a various airline company. If the option flying foliage or arrives at a various aeroport, the airline company must transportation passengers to the unique leaving or arrive spot out of accusation. Several passengers will select to get a return instead of, but Adam France, of customer team that, says how the airline company's responsibility of thoroughness ends at how time. How tool who conducted the return and books their own, more than costly, option flying is hardly to include the distinction compensated. If a flying is yet anticipated to leave, but deceased, later passengers will initially include to expect quite rather than be put on an option flying. Yet, for intermittent of more than rather than 5 several hours, passengers get the identical rights as they would if the flying was broken. So, following 5 several hours, they could be proposed a return or an option flying. How will be real of lot passengers currently? These thing how should be coded by journey insurance coverage policies. We will say to the insurance coverage production present to do certainly they consider claims sensibly, he told. Yet, not all policies lid destruction or as called journey refusal. Occasionally the requires the client to checkmark a box while using for a journey politics. Policies may lid the additional expenses how airlines do not choose up, such as a inn, remain or car rental across the sea, and insurers include told they wish to honor how, in spite the extraordinary occasion. Journey insurance coverage claims should be a recent refuge. Any claims for additional expenses should at first be done to the airline company. Gatwick says how passengers should not journey to the aeroport out of check the statute of the flying in the airline company at first. Lot airlines email out machine alerts. The airline company must get you of A to B, so they must put you on the following probable flying to yours designed purpose. Journey organization ABTA says a via card is juridically purified as one agreement, so yours original transporter will be required to get you a replace further bound flying. Yet, if you acquired the 2 tickets individually you should pin the other airline company for aid, but they would include no legislative commitment to substitute yours unique order for complimentary or offer you a return. Following 2 several hours, the airline company should brush out meal and sip vouchers to such in the aeroport wait for their air transportation. For such twisted, the airline company should ensure in lodging night. Several holiday makers may include to end up stay an additional overnight up flyer household. Mr. Franz says how price should as well be coded by the airline company, but it is essential to hold the airline company aware, in instance they include a more profitable option. The price may include to be declared behind subsequently. Sally Gathin, text editor of Gathin's onboard news story, says how nomadic people should hold a recording and receipts of all their additional conducting. ABTA says the commitment just applies if you are twisted during the EU or are traveling in an EU-based airline company. So if you are jammed in New York in an America-based airline company they would not include to lid these additional cost. Who has ordered a pack feast can get a return for the entire feast, if their flying is broken. The starts to be more than hard, but customers can yet try to do a complaint in their airline company. else stock option is to try to do a complaint on their journey insurance coverage. The Associate of UK Insurers says how policies will differ, so customers should see at the little printing or pin their underwriter to verify. Airlines will be required to transportation you to the airports you were ordered to and of. So, if an incoming flying is diverted to, say Manchester, later the airline company should do journey institutional arrangement to get you to Gatwick. Several boat train companies are offered to get passengers complimentary of accusation. You are take a hazard. It is hardly how an airline company will lid the price of a cab wherever some more than price effective options, such as trains or coaches, are accessible. Ever talk in the airline company at first. You can try to do a complaint yet, though if success, the would just lid the price to the aeroport, not any additional travel to get you all the way household. Such who are failed could try pretending via their journey insurance coverage. Once again the is pertinent if an incoming flying is detained or diverted. Car parking lot providers may disclaim any additional expenses, the airline company may lid it, or drivers could try pretending on their journey insurance coverage if the politics relating the kind of indirect losing.